These are going to be the main components arriving in the box. Main printer unit, power supply, which we already plugged in for our demonstration. We'll have a wireless mouse, the printer ribbon, and the wired keyboard. This is all you need for typewriter style printing with this printer. There is an optional scanner, etc., but for our demonstration, this is what we will use. So, how to install the printer ribbon and how to plug everything in, what we will go through. On the back of the unit, we'll have several USB ports, also Ethernet, and another USB for printer and the power. So power goes over there. We have the mouse, and this is where we have the small USB stick. Just plug it into any of the USB ports. Make sure to turn on the mouse and also the keyboard. Can be plugged into any of the ports. So that's all we need. Now to install the ribbon. The ribbon is also in this UV protective baggie, which we also recommend using every night when we are storing the ribbon. We do not want to keep the ribbon in the unit because it can dry up, and obviously the lifespan of the ribbon will be much shorter than what we expect. We are expecting approximately, actually exactly 15,000 prints out of a ribbon. If you don't store it here, it will be much less than that. So this is the printer ribbon. You can actually notice on one side has a little hump on it. That is an RFID chip that needs to be installed on the left side of the unit. So for now, I will place it on the top like that. It needs to be installed at this position. To remove the lid, we just put our finger there and just really slightly spread it. And now it can be just pulled up. As you see, that's where my fingers are at. So let's do it one more time. Let's put it right there. Place your thumb up here, just a little bit of pressure, and the whole thing lifts up. You can notice a little magnet and a sensor there. These two need to match. So pay attention that your opening and the magnet position are matching the setup. Inside the unit, you have basically two main moving parts. This is where you put the slide. What's the name of that? I actually forgot the name, but so this is the rack where you actually put the slide in. This is where it's gonna go. And as you see, that's moving. We recommend not grabbing the head there. There's this that you can easily grab lift it up. So the whole thing could be moved up and down. We recommend not doing this while the unit is turned on, but now even though we are connected to the power, it's not on. So we can easily move it. The other thing you can move is the print head. You just put your finger in and you can move the print head back and forth. To install the ribbon, the print head needs to be in the center position and the rack needs to be in the up position. This is the easiest way to put the printer ribbon in. Easy way is to grab the ribbon, put it behind the rack, and also the two you see, usually it's so easy. You can see little rollers here. You want to make sure that the ribbon is on the user side, so it's behind these rollers. So let's do it one more time. Lift up the rack. And put in the ribbon. You can see the position that the ribbon is at the front of the print head. It's between the print head and the rack. At this point you can put the cover back. And it has to sit properly. Because it's not sitting properly now. The easiest way is just give it a little bit of hit. And now we can turn the unit on with this button. This unit has a Windows-based software, so don't be scared if it's not coming on right away. It needs a little time, just like a personal computer needs time. Now your printer is ready to operate. Everything, all the operation, the hotkeys and everything will be explained in the manual. But now, if you just want to use regular typewriter style printing, this is ready to go. Only thing we need to pay attention is to make sure that your character where you want to start is selected. You can start anywhere you want to, but you have to make sure it's selected. So we will do a test print. Let's call it test 1. And our date is 8/3/18. For our test, we have some tender slides, 1mm slides prepared. All we do is slide is facing you, upside down. We just simply drop it in. You don't need to push, you don't need to do anything, just drop it in. You pull it down because there is a UV lamp to make sure it cures. And your test 1 is good. If you want to do the same print over and over again, all you need to do is just drop the next slide. And it keeps printing what's on the screen. So now we had a couple of test prints. I forgot to mention that you have 16 characters in a line, and you have 4 lines that you can put on one slide. So you have a lot of characters and space to put a lot of information on one slide. So now, when you finished your workday, there is a proper way to shut down and store the printer and the printing ribbon for the night. This has to happen every night to make sure that the printer will work the next day and the next day and 2 weeks from now. We cannot skip these steps because that can damage the printhead. The printhead has to be cleaned every day to make sure that it's gonna work. The printhead is the one piece in the whole printer that's not under warranty, because that's the user responsibility to clean that every night. So let's see how we actually do that. We will turn the unit off. It's just a simple power button. It's off now. We will remove the cover as we showed that before. The best is just simply put it up on the top of the unit. Now we can remove the ribbon. Simply pull it up, roll it in, and we can store it in our little UV protective baggie. Put it in, seal it, and we also recommend using the little box or packet or whatever you call it to store it for the night. You can just simply put it next to the unit or put it wherever you want to. It doesn't need to go into the fridge or any of those. So now, as we showed before, we have the rack, and we also have the print head right here. In this position, you cannot push the print head anyway, but you can actually clean it. All you need is a long Q-tip style, what's the name of this?
Applicator?
Yeah, applicator, yes. And some 100% alcohol, which I have in this bottle. You want to soak the applicator with alcohol, and you want to clean the print head really well. Really well. For this, let me push it to the side so you can see the print head better. You see that gray square, and in the gray square you have the line. Those are the printing needles. That needs to be cleaned very well. It's not a big deal. It's a very quick and easy thing to do, but you have to make sure it's nice and clean. On the applicator you see the ink. This was only a few prints. If we don't clean this off every night, it can dry up the print head and damage the needles. That's why it's very important to clean every night. And now you can just simply put the lid back on, and your printer is cleaned and ready for the next day operation. And the next day we'll start over by installing the ribbon and use the printer. But the cleaning needs to happen every day after the work is done.